we've already covered 1.6 Subaru, 170 Subi today. We're going to cover another one. This one's a little bit different of a build, kind of different idea with what the driver wants to do, but let's get to you. What's your name, my friend?
So my name is Lee.
Okay.
I'm the owner of Silverstone Subi.
Okay, perfect.
And this is a 2004 Subaru Outback LL Bean.
Oh, it's an LL Bean? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
six-cylinder, leather, nice stereo.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and that's one thing I want to get to. This is a super special rig. It is a 6-cylinder, so it's a little bit of an oddball. Not a ton of these guys out there. So I want to go ahead and start talking about how you got into this vehicle, if anything before that got you interested in the Subaru, or was it kind of just a fell in your lap situation?
It's the latter, yeah. I actually needed a new daily driver.
Okay.
My parents just had this sitting around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they bought it. They didn't really like the way it drove, and it was just sitting.
Okay.
So they said, hey, you want this car? And I said, sure.
How long ago did you get this car then?
2017.
Okay, so wow,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
8
been a
years
while.
almost, yeah?
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
How long into it did you start modifying it? Like, was it like
a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I got it, the suspension was all tired. It had over 200,000 miles on it.
Wow. Okay.
So I told my parents, I don't really need to keep this car. So what I'll do is I'll fix it back up to stock, like good stock standard.
Yeah. Sure.
And I did that eventually. A couple of years went by, and everything was good to go again. And they didn't want it back.
Nice.
So I said, okay, well, time for me to mod it.
Nice. Awesome. What were some of the first mods that you did to this thing? Because obviously, like I said, it's definitely seen some stuff. It is probably not in its first iteration. So what was your starting point, and how did you get to where you're at now?
Right. So the very first thing I did was just daily driver stuff.
Sure.
The usual repairs, but modification-wise, it was tires and skid plates.
Okay. And what tires did you run first? I see
Toyo Open Country AT2s.
Okay. AT2s. What size were you running?
215, 65, 16.
Oh, okay. That's a little bizarre tire size. I like it.
Yeah, it's whatever the best stock size is.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Sweet. And then you went from that to these are what now?
235, 75, 15 Toyo Open Country AT3s.
Okay, sweet. And these are a tire that I used to run for quite a while, actually. I used it for a couple years. I'm a big fan of the Open Country AT3. I think they're a really good lightweight Subaru tire specifically. Like, these things in larger sizes are pretty lightweight, which is awesome. So I'm a big fan of that. What did you do for suspension back in the day when you first started going at it?
So the first thing I did was replace a rear KYB strut that blew out because they have a problem with this chassis.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, the rear spring perches slip off, and then you have a lowrider.
That's awesome.
So that happened to me. It happened to a bunch of other people, and they said that the solution was to switch to Toyota Bilstein 5100s.
Really? 5100s?
Yes.
Okay.
And I did that, and that raised the rear about 2 inches.
Okay.
And I said, well, the rear's raised, now I just got to raise the front.
Nice. That's
so
awesome.
That started my long lift adventure.
Yeah, okay, sweet. And then so you ran that for a little while.
Yes.
Was the ride good, or did you enjoy it like that?
Yeah,
or was
it was absolutely great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, the front KYBs weren't great, but the Bilsteins handled perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I ran them for years.
What were they out of?
First gen Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty much a Bolton.
Yeah, that's freaking wild.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. And then I see you've got something a little special. If you want to come in here, we can kind of look. Well, there's a bunch of stuff that's pretty special in here, but we've got one thing I want to note really quick. This guy right here is a particularly large subframe drop.
Correct.
How big did you say that was again?
So that's a part of a kit from Subi with Dawes. Those rear ones are 3 inches. There's some on the front as well. Those are 2 inches. And there's also some driveline spacers that are 1 inch.
Wow, okay. That's pretty sweet. And then I also see you've got a pretty interesting looking bump stop. I know you said it's not necessarily working proper, but tell me more about that.
Yeah, it just needs a little more fine tuning. So that's a Chevy Silverado bump stop that's been modified to fit, and a much longer bolt and a bump stop spacer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and then I also tilted it just slightly by using some shims to just angle it a little bit better to match the control arms.
Wow, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then tell me about what shocks you're running now. I know you're on a competitor to the company that I personally run, but I know they still have their space and they still work really well for you. Tell me more about that.
Yep, so I actually had a set of, so the KYBs and the Bilsteins eventually failed.
Okay,
it's
as
just
stock shocks kind of do.
It happens.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I decided to just go all in on flat out because they had a pretty good pricing deal for me.
Okay.
And they also said that they could make a long travel kit that worked with my 4-inch lift as well.
Nice. Okay.
So I could keep using these same subframe spacers and have a little bit more travel.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are flat out suspension GR40Rs.
Okay.
That means that they have reservoirs.
Yes.
And the fronts are inverted coilovers.
Okay. Yes. So you've got reservoirs in the front. You've got the inverted coilovers, which definitely adds a lot of strength to these guys.
Yep.
And these are a pretty long travel shock as well, from what I can see. If we should probably look over here. So here we can see a pretty good, probably watermelon-sized space.
A big watermelon, right?
Yeah, big watermelon. You can see that you don't even get a slice of watermelon in there. So that's some pretty good tuckage that you're getting out of it. And you're not even lifting tire, I don't think.
Nope.
So it's pretty good articulation, I must say.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
That extra subframe top really allows for some longer shock in there. You can get some look down there.
Yep.
Now I'm actually seeing something a little bit extra special too. You got a lot of red going on down there. You want to tell me more about all those red links down there?
Those are all Godspeed control arms. And over the years, I found that the Godspeeds actually work the best out of all of the aftermarket ones.
Wow,
I haven't tested white lines, but I have seen a couple white lines with broken welds, so I wanted to avoid that.
Yep, that's fair. Broken welds are never good.
Yes,
Especially on your arms.
Everything is Godspeed. The uppers are also Godspeed. It's a little hard to see them.
Yeah.
But I did modify those because out of the box they have a history of bending.
Okay, what did you do to them to set them up?
So my neighbor and I cut out some pieces of steel, just a simple triangle sheet, and then just welded it in place to sort of bridge the curvature to make it straight.
We'll probably try and put a picture of that in right now or something, because it's a little hard to get in there, but yeah, you can see right there. And
but yeah, they've been holding up great. The rod ends last for years.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was expecting them to last months.
Nice.
And I'm pleasantly surprised.
Well, that's sweet. All right, let's go to the front of the car. I want to wrap this up with some of the cool stuff you got up front. Mostly a couple things I'm seeing. So let's talk about your lighting really quick. I know it's looks like two different companies I'm seeing.
Yes. We have Diode Dynamics for the important lighting.
Yeah, the important lighting.
And then the lighting that replaced the stock fog lights down below are just Amazon specials.
We love a good Amazon special.
Yeah, they have a great beam output pattern, and they shoot yellow, so
that's good.
It works great in fog.
That's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, but I love these Diode Dynamics,
and
they've been great for me.
That's awesome. And what patterns are you running? Patterning is the most important thing, I think, when you're putting good lights on your car. You got to make sure it's going where you want it to. So what do you got running, and what's your goals?
So I believe these are SS3 Sports with a combo pattern, and I think these are Pros with a flood pattern.
Okay, yeah. Those look like a drive. I will say these are driving.
Okay.
From what I can tell, those are driving.
That's what they are. But I got them used.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, driving in flood is perfect. I mean, you basically have a combo right there. You find that they get your light where you need it for the most part? Or?
For the most part, and everything else is taken care of by these 3-inch projectors.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Did you do those yourself?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Come on, let's take a look at these, because these are beautiful. What'd you do to these guys specifically? Was this?
So these are aftermarket housings. I ordered pretty much all the rest of the components from either Morimoto or what is it? HID
Kit Pros or something?
Yeah, something like that. So I ordered all the parts from them or AliExpress.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so those are AliExpress projectors, HID kit, shroud, everything.
Sweet, awesome. And then I want to cover the one last thing that's really cool on this car, I think. The big thing right here that covers your engine. Tell me more about this. I know it may or may not be super important, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so actually, because this has the flat-out coilovers with the reservoirs, there's this giant hood scoop here, and that helps cool the coilovers.
Okay, we can take a look.
Pop the hood real quick, and then we can show, if you just keep an eye on where the scoop is.
Yeah, look at the scoop right here. Then we go down.
And there's the coilover reservoirs. So they're mounted directly in line with the airflow path from the scoop.
Okay, sweet.
So assuming I keep the vehicle speed high enough,
yes,
the coilovers stay cool.
Perfect. So,
and it actually works great.
That's awesome. So a little bit tough on the crawling, but good for the higher speed, maybe some highway especially.
Absolutely.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. And it's carbon fiber hood, it looks like?
Yeah. VIS Racing. Got it for $350 on offer up.
Oh, nice. Was it specifically for Outback or is it for something else?
Specifically for Legacy, Outback, or Baja.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. I love that. Well, sweet, man. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything you've got from what I can see. Anything else you want to talk about before we let you go?
You know what? I love my Primitive Racing skid plates.
Oh, yes, skid
Yeah,
plates.
I'm not
super
sponsored
big.
by them. I just think that, you know, they have high quality materials.
Sure, yeah.
And this skid plate has seen some serious abuse.
Nice.
And I've been able to fix it every time.
That's
So,
awesome.
I
Well,
really
sweet.
like it.
Well, I'm glad you're liking what you got. I'm glad the rig is doing well for you. I'm excited to see what you do with it next. So, I will link all of his stuff in the description below as well. So feel free to follow along on his journeys and see where this monster Outback takes him. So, anyways, guys, appreciate you looking along and watching this stuff go. So, see you later. Cool.